Joining me for What Were You Thinking, presented by World's Greatest. And also, FanFest. Thank you for joining me tonight. I know it's a lot going on. NBA Finals is going on. But we want to talk about track and field today. I have a special co-host, and I also have a special guest that I'm really excited that we're going to have on the show today, where they're just going to share with us about what's going on in their world and track and field and what their goals are and what they're looking forward to for the season. And so, again, my name is Jessica Beard. I am a Texas A&M Aggie and world champion USA sprinter, runs the 400 and 4x4 relay. And yeah, I think I've said enough. About myself, but this is What Were You Thinking, where we just give you an inside look at athletes and their journeys and their stories from an athlete's perspective. I feel like a lot of times we read about it, if it's in articles, if it's in what else is it? If we're watching it on television, but to actually join us live and be able to hear and see the athlete speak about the experience for themselves is really what we aim to do. I actually just got back from training at the track, and so I'm looking forward to having our guests on and them just sharing their journey with us. And so thank you all for joining. What else? What else is there? Before I bring the guests on, I think that's it. So we'll have Kyle on. Have Hey, what's going on?
Going on? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Can't complain.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't officially met you. I
Okay.
feel like a lot
Yeah.
of times I meet athletes through results. You know,
Hmm.
they're like, oh, this. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a crazy score. That's a crazy time, or that's a crazy height. And you're like, oh
Right.
my gosh. And you're like, I don't know this person, but
Hmm.
they're in our sport and you hear their name. And so tell us a little about yourself and what you do. I know, but just for the audience, what you do
Okay.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Perfect. I am a decathlete here at the University of Georgia. I actually just finished competing a couple weeks ago at the U.S. Multi Championships, where I made the U.S. team to compete at World
yeah,
Championships. Thank
congratulations.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Scored 87.20, which is a really big score, a huge PR for me, and it ranks number 7 all time in the U.S. and number 16 all time in the world. And being young, I just had my just celebrated my 22nd birthday, so
Oh my gosh, you were born in 2000.
yes,
Oh my
yes,
goodness. Okay, that's
yes.
okay.
Yeah, I'm a young one. I'm a
Yes,
young
for
one
sure.
on the circuit, but
And that's okay. You compete like a vet. I mean,
yes.
somebody who's experienced, and so that's what really matters. How
Hmm.
does that feel already having made the team? Do you feel like being a collegiate athlete, like you said, you go to the University of Georgia, do you feel a sense of relief? Do you feel like I still have more to go? You want to win a national championship title in the decathlon? Like, what's your goals as far as moving forward with certain things?
It's definitely a feeling of relief. I mean, my biggest goal this year was to make this world championship team, and it was really a blessing to for the trials to be moved about a month or so
Okay.
earlier than normal. So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of pressure was taken off for the
Yeah.
remainder of this season. So it's like I don't really have to focus on much else other than just going out here and having fun and enjoying myself doing what I love to do. So it's exciting. I mean, it's a great feeling to be at this level at such a young age, and I'm just getting started. I definitely
Yeah.
have a lot of work to do. I'm definitely not gonna just settle down and be excited, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna soak the moment in for sure. I mean, it's definitely something that I have to get used to. Definitely something that is I think it allows me to kind of soak it in, like I said, and be excited. But there's still, like I said, a lot of work left to be done. So I'm just excited to keep working.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. It being moved forward, do you feel
Yeah.
like it was an event? You feel like a lot of times we hear, or I know athletes that say, "Man, do they really think about the athletes?" Do you feel like this is
Hmm.
something? It's like they really thought about us. They really thought about the decathletes and the heptathletes and our what's best for us and competing. Because I could only imagine, like, man, if you would have had to compete at nationals and then turn
Yeah.
around, what? a week and a half, 2 weeks
Yeah, about a week and a half.
later, and then come back and do another the same 10 events, or what?
Right. No, I definitely think it not an advantage per se,
Yeah.
but I definitely think it was well needed. I definitely think USATF was looking out for the decathletes and heptathletes this year. It definitely is beneficial to us just because of the amount of time it takes for us to, I guess, regroup
Yeah.
and our bodies to recover
Yeah.
after doing 10 events for the men, 7 events for the women. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and for the NCAA athletes, me and Anna Har are the two NCAA athletes so far that have made this team. I think it's really, really beneficial for us just being able to still have NCAAs to compete in and still having world championships to compete in as well. It just like lengthens out our season a little bit more, makes it a lot easier to perform at our best level every time we step on the track.
So tell me a little bit, how did you get into the decathlete line? Like how did somebody say, you know what? I think I can just do these 10 events and really well, pretty well, and a few events I'm gonna be very, very good at.
Hmm.
How do you, or and you say, you know what, like you said, the recovery process, I'll ask you about that later as well, but how did you get into the decathlon, and how was it, how were you able to say, oh, this is something? Did you start, when did you start running track?
Hmm.
Did you start with another event, another sport, or?
Right. No, I get this question all the time because people are always just super curious. But I started doing the decathlon in 20. Well, I started out with the pentathlon, which is 5 events. I started that out in 2014. I was actually a sprinter and did a little bit of high jump as well, 1, 2, 4, and some high jump. And I was doing all these events at a district meet, and one of the officials was like, "You're at a position to qualify for Junior Olympics and all these separate events. Why don't you just try the multi events, the pentathlons?" I was like, okay. I mean, I had no knowledge of it, but I mean, me and my dad, who was my coach at the time, he was my coach when I started running at 7, and he'd been my coach all the way until I came to college. So we just went back home, did our research. It's like, what is multi events? What is the pentathlon, decathlon, or whatever? So we kind of did our research. I learned how to pole vault within about a week and a half, and
Oh wow.
I ended up going. I won regionals 2 weeks later, and then finished fifth at the Junior Olympics later that summer. So I mean, I was kind of like, I guess I can be pretty good at this. I kind of just stuck with it, and I've ran with it and had a lot of fun, done a lot of research on the event and what it entails, and it's taken me to where I'm at currently.
How is that? Hi, Ghoul. How are you?
Yay! I'm
Hello.
sorry to be late. I've been
It's
trying to
okay.
get on, and I was not seeing anything to get on, but hey,
It's
I'm
okay.
finally here.
That's
Mhm.
Now,
technology. Technology
Yes.
yes,
sometimes. So
I clicked
it's
on
so
the old link, it did not work. So,
yeah. I understand
Hmm.
technology these days, but you're here now, and that's all that really matters. How is that, having your dad as a coach, or having a parent as a coach? How is that? Sometimes you hear kids say like, oh, I've seen it with my own eyes. Some of the kids are like,
Hmm.
my parents harder on me than they are the other kids. Or, you have some kids that are like, man, I love this. I know we had Shay on, and she talked about how her dad
Hmm.
coached her in the 400. And so I'm just curious on how that relationship is, and if it's something that you feel like you embraced, or it's something like, I know sometimes athletes are like, I learned later that I really appreciated this. Not that you didn't appreciate it in the moment, but it's just
Right.
like, why are you so hard on me? Like,
All
I'm
right.
doing the best I can.
Yeah. No,
I'm like,
I definitely understand that. No, but it was a good process for the most part. I mean, me and my dad had really good chemistry outside
mhm,
of just a father son type of relationship. We really clicked as athlete and coach. Like we were able to put that father son aspect to the side at certain points,
mhm,
but there was also times where that was needed. I mean, and it was very beneficial for the both of us. I mean, I think we both grew. I mean, he grew as a coach and learned how to coach kids at a younger age. And I grew as an athlete, just learning how to take criticism, not just on the track, but taking criticism at all times. I kind of learned how to kind of block that out, especially when it comes to social media and stuff. Because I mean, I always had my dad in my ear. There was
yeah,
like never really a time all throughout high school where we could just kind of like where I could kind of relax. I mean, I definitely had my relaxation times, but it was always track this, track
yeah,
that, and it's like sometimes it's tiring, and sometimes it's very hard for athletes to try to put that to the side or block that out and focus on what really has to be done. And I kind of just got that down at a younger age just because it was what I was embraced with
yes,
every day, day in and day out. So it was definitely really beneficial. And I mean, my dad knows me better than probably anybody else. I mean, the
Okay.
only person that knows me better than my dad is myself. So when
Okay.
it came down to just injuries or whatever it is, or he knew what was best in a sense. So it was a good dynamic for sure. I mean, when I got to senior year and freshman year in college, I was kind of like, yeah, I mean, I'm ready to move on to a new coach. I'm ready to expand my horizon a little bit. But
Yeah.
I loved having my dad as my coach.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
would you say, in your earlier days that drives you, like your father being your coach, you think that drives you to become a better athlete,
Hmm.
or what drives you?
I mean, definitely that was an aspect. Um, I feel like there was always just like this edge. It was like I was never able to like let my mind slip. Like if
Mhm.
my dad saw that my mind was slipping a little bit, or I was losing sight of what I really wanted, he was always on me to get back up and keep moving, keep pushing. But I mean, it was helpful. But in the end of the day, I'm just a self motivated guy, and when I started the sport, I told myself that I don't want to just be a mediocre athlete. I don't want to just be, a guy that goes through high school track in the NCAA and calls it quits. I told myself I want to be the best, not just one of the best, but the
Yeah.
best to ever do it. And I'm like, if there's a path that like is kind of trying to sway me away from that, it's like I just know how to keep myself in line. So I mean, I've motivated myself most of the way, but my dad has been great help.
So another question. So how does it feel to train against, athletes that compete in the same event as you, and they're in that high standard, like I know a lot of, because you go to Georgia, I know a lot of,
Hmm.
Georgia is known for decathlon and heptathlon, and
Hmm.
the jumps and stuff. So how does that feel, that your teammates are your main competitors?
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, it's not many atmospheres as a track and field athlete that you can get that. I mean, you have to. There's a lot of people in different states that are creating like training camps nowadays to kind of bring the best athletes around one another. But just coming into college, it was like that's what I just walked into, and
Yeah.
that was like an atmosphere that you can't really like create. It just is natural. And it's really really exciting too. A lot of my training partners are actually going to be competing with me at world championships in the decathlon, so it's in a sense it's going to feel like another practice for me, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then, why did you choose Georgia? What? And I mean, I know they have a rich history, like Goule was saying, as far as the decathlon and the heptathlon. But why
Mhm.
did you choose Georgia for yourself? Knowing, in some regard, there's been with any school, sometimes there's coaching changes and things like
Mhm.
that. But that didn't really sway you, and so just curious on what made you still choose Georgia.
No, the biggest thing for me about choosing Georgia was it is pretty far from where I'm from. I'm from Philadelphia, so it's a long drive, or a 2 hour flight, hour and a half, 2 hour flight. But biggest thing was I wanted that family environment. I mean, outside of the coaches, outside of the staff, outside of the athletic department, I wanted a team that was going to be around for a long time, and that just really accepts me outside of being an athlete, just for a person. And everybody on the team was able to do that, and they brought me under their wing. And I mean, some of the guys that were here, like juniors and seniors, or even sophomores when I was a freshman, some of those guys are still even here, and I mean,
Mhm.
some of those people are still my brothers and sisters, like to this day. So I mean, outside of just competing and just doing what I love to do on the track, I mean, I'm also just able to enjoy life with the people that I love, and probably some of the closest people. And I mean, I'm going to cherish these relationships for sure. So this is why, I mean, even when we had our coaching change, I still wanted to stay, because
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to give up on my team. I
Yeah.
didn't want to just leave them and go chase a coach. I wanted to be open to something new. I wanted to be open to change. So I just wanted to stay at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gould, why'd you choose LSU?
Oh, Coach Elliott. Boom. Boom. That's why I end up at Clemson.
Yeah.
Boom. Just like the history. Unless you had a history for the 800. So, he's one of the greatest. He's also a Jamaican as well, and he was one of Jamaica's top athletes. So, you know, went to LSU to just, and I ran fast. So why not? Why A&M?
That's a long story that I don't have enough time to really explain why I chose A&M. But ultimately, because I'm from Ohio, so warm weather was a big, I know, warm weather was a big factor in my decision. Three of my schools were in Texas, LSU, and then Tennessee. I have to tell you the story another time, Goule, but
Yeah.
the coach at LSU was like, "So this was your favorite visit?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You love the school, yes. You love the athletes, yeah, and you're not coming." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm gonna be there." So, yeah, it was something for me. To make a long story short, being able to say, in a sense, kind of also what Kyle said, and also what you said, Gul, I knew there were great coaches at A&M, but I also knew that I think at the time, maybe my senior in high school was the first year they ever won the Big 12. Like they had never won the Big 12 championship no other years. And so all Clara Williams, she's Jamaican, and she ended up winning the NCAA title. And even though the school I was choosing between was between Texas and Texas A&M, and Texas had this rich history, for me, I was just like, it just takes one. So if one person can win here at A&M, I can win here as well. And so, but it's more to that story. We don't have time today, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back and tell y'all. But it was ultimately the right decision for me. But LSU,
Obviously,
yeah.
can
But
because
I
my
knew I
mom.
was like, I'm about to be LSU Tiger. I'm about to be down there. I thought I was going to Tennessee. I mean, I think every school I visited, I thought I was going to. I thought I was about to be a Baylor Bear. I was just like, I love it here. It's
I loved A&M. Actually, my two visits that I went on, well, it's not just two visits, but A&M was one of my favorite visits, and obviously LSU. So those were my favorite visits. Like Coach Francis, you know him; he's a troublemaker.
yeah.
He was troubling my coach now that she love it. So he probably started getting nervous, thinking I'm gonna go to A&M. But
Not the case.
it
Not
was
the case.
funny. It was funny. They tease him. Because I knew of A&M because of Natasha Ruddock
Yeah.
and Simone Facey.
Yeah.
Like before coming to the United States, I knew of no other school but LSU,
Okay.
FSU, and Texas A&M because of them. And
Mhm.
Kent University because Kent came and Kansas. Those were the five schools. I knew nothing about Georgia, Oregon, Florida. I didn't even know those schools existed
Yeah.
at all. You
Wow.
know, but I'm Tiger twice, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because Clemson's a tiger.
Mhm.
As you tigers. That's
Yes.
right. They both got a little purple in there, so you get a pass.
Listen, it took me a while to get used to the orange girl.
Mm.
It
Let me
was like, oh,
look.
it was like a culture shock with the orange because I was so used to purple.
Yeah, oranges are not really look great in oranges, but I just gotta be careful. I gotta pick my oranges wisely. It's like, is this Tennessee orange? Is this Texas orange? Is this Clemson orange? Just like
I don't want to
I
wear
really
burnt
just gotta
orange.
gotta pick my battles here. Yeah, in Georgia, I had a training partner, and she didn't go to Georgia, but her husband
Mhm.
went to Georgia, and he worked with like the basketball team and with
Okay.
Adidas and things like that, and so I was like, "Are you cheering?" Like, I think we were playing Georgia one of the years. I'm like, and like she sent me a text. So I'm like, "Gia, are you talking smack?" I'm like, "You didn't even go to Georgia." And she's like, "I went to Georgia." So I feel like I'm like honorary Georgia Bulldog.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, "You're definitely not." Like, whatever. And it's so I think it's so hard because the SEC is so. I mean, when you look at football, I'm just like, so all
Mhm.
y'all, everybody gonna be good like this.
Mhm.
Everybody just gonna just be great. So y'all just acting up. Okay, that's
ACCs
good.
is the bomb. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I came to ACCs, I missed SECs, especially with the gifts. Oh, girl.
Come on, okay. Okay, so
No,
you took
I
the
got me
ACC,
a
what they get.
nice B earphone when I went to LSU. Then I
Y'all got
came
what?
to Clemson,
I don't remember
and
having
we
that.
got a T-shirt. I was like, but now the gifts are better.
Not
When I left, obviously, I was
yes,
so upset.
yes.
But
For sure, Beats versus the T-shirt. I mean, yeah, yeah. I hope you still got the Beats though. I mean,
actually, I think I gave it to somebody, and
okay. So that's
they
nice.
probably mess it up. So
Okay. It's okay. So talking about recovery earlier, both of y'all do. I mean, as a 400-meter runner, Gould, you run the 400 sometimes. how you run a 400. I
Mm-hmm.
know about recovery, but y'all do a little. I know a little about y'all events from other people and interacting with them and or being friends with certain people. So I'm like, what are you? What you do? But I don't really know about the recovery process. I just know what y'all do. Like Chanel used to tell me, she's like, okay, sis, I'm about to go my 5 mile run. I'm like, excuse me. Or I used to watch, I used to watch Tyra do like repeat 800s. I'm like, excuse me, this is all for the. Oh no, no, no. So tell me what like the recovery process is. I think we all know, with the 800, you're doing well. I'm not sure, but for the most part, I know you have to do some mileage. You do the 1500 in your event, and you do 10 events. Tell me what the recovery process is like for each of you, as far as your events and how it helps. Because I think a lot of times as athletes, we talk a lot about training and how training is important, but we don't really talk enough about the recovery aspect and what that is, because for different people it can mean different things.
Mm-hmm.
You can go get Ed, Kyle.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a lot with the decathlon. I mean, just trying to juggle around 10 events, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot, but I mean, you just gotta the biggest thing is trusting the coach and trusting the plan that they put together. And I mean, you know, giving yourself the proper amount of rest. Because a lot of people that get into the decathlon, it's like they think they have to train every event every week. It's like that's not the case. I mean, when you get to this level, it's like you have the tools, you've been doing this for a good amount of time, you have the muscle memory. So it's like, okay, here and there, we just have to fine tune, and keep yourself in good fitness. So, I mean, I have different running workouts that I do towards the beginning and the end of the week. Earlier in the week, I usually do like a harder running workout, whether it's repeat 400s, repeat 300s at a faster pace to kind of simulate.
That's something y'all got in common that I ain't got, and I do the 400.
Yeah, I mean, because it works the
Yeah.
speed endurance for 400s, but it also gets your body and your legs right to be able to run that 15 and to work through that lactic. So
You need more than just the 400, Kyle.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I need a couple more laps than just one. But
You definitely need to add at least a 1.5 lap more to that.
at least.
You
So
need some thousand up in there.
1,000 indoors, 1,500 outdoors. So I'm used to some mileage. I mean, recovery wise, I'll have sometimes I'll do some longer runs, 2 to 3 miles, just to kind of flush my body out a little bit on a weekend or something. But
That's recovery.
yeah, not I wouldn't say, trying to hold any time.
Okay.
Bigger guy, I'm going, I'm hitting like 8-minute miles, it's a nice jog, a nice.
The fact that that's a jog, because let me tell you, I went on a 2 mile run, and I'm not gonna talk about my time, but if I hit 7 something for the first one, you best believe I didn't for the second one. I'm just like, this is the birds. This ain't for me.
Oh
Oh,
my God. That's what y'all call recovery?
it's a
Running is
solid
not recovery
recovery.
for me.
It's a solid recovery for me.
Recovery for me is not running at all.
Oh no,
Recovery is me coming home,
I
getting
do
my
a good
bed,
deal of
sleep,
sitting down.
taking care of my body. That's recovery for me. When I run, that's not recovery because
No,
I don't think I know what jogging is. Like I don't think
yeah,
I know. Like
yeah,
my Friday runs, that I will go slow, but I still will average like 7 minutes.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Oh wow.
I really
No,
don't think
I
I don't
definitely do
think
a lot
that's
of sit down.
recovery. I honestly don't think so.
Yeah.
Sometimes we ask coach, I hear like the sprinters and the 400 meter oh, we got recovery week. Recovery what? Huh? What is that?
Mhm.
We don't have that.
Less
Recovery
intense.
week,
That's recovery week
that's
is.
like testing, right? Recovery
Or
week is like doing a test or whatever. We don't
yes, or
do
not
that.
as
Coach
or not as
Elliot,
strenuous. Or it's high intensity, but it's low volume. It's
Mhm.
like a recovery, or we call it
I
a
don't think
down week, because the other weeks were
I don't think
as
we have no
much as
down
we have
week.
prayer service.
I
Yeah.
don't think we have down week. Every
Oh,
Tuesday is hard.
so then that must mean that must just come with the 800, which is why I don't do nothing like that.
Like
But
our down day probably be when we do our runs probably.
So what's your favorite
Um,
workout then? What's your favorite if you could do in if your coach be like, you get to pick your workout today. What's your favorite workout?
150. 150 is good. And 200, 150 is nothing
How
about.
many?
Like we do like
I'm
probably
saying
10.
if you could choose. No, this is something that you say, if I come here, I'm gonna come here, get it, get in, kill it, and leave. Like this is what I want to do. What would you
Well, it's because we have to even think that, it
if
have to
somebody
help
says
us.
you win $1 million if you hit the paces and
It
time
have
for
to
this
help us.
particular workout, what would you do?
Okay, according to the pace, so if it's just 5, I would want to run all 5 in like 26. If it's 10 of them, like anything below 30, you know?
Okay.
Because you have to think about the fact that you have to go and compete and do well, you know?
Mhm.
So you can't just, hey, I want to go do 10 200s and it's above 30 seconds. That's not going to help you unless I'm doing the 1500, but not for 800.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. What
So
about
for
you?
him, he could do
Mhm.
10 200s and do them in like 30s or even 31 32s, you know?
Mhm.
But you
Yeah.
can't do that for the 800.
Yeah. What about you, Kyle?
I would say just because I kind of like 400 training.
Okay.
So I would say
Good.
a broken four. Like if I can
Ooh,
go out
okay.
there, I'd do a broken four, whether it's 250, 150,
Uh-huh.
or go 200, 100, 100.
Okay. So
I
you
like
don't like the 3-1 broken 4?
I like
That
I
hurt.
like to be able to get at least half the race out, before
Yeah.
I do a 250 and then
Yeah.
finish it however I
Yeah.
finish
Yeah.
That's him trying to go hard for the
it.
300 and then have to rest like
Yep.
a minute and then when
Yep. No.
Yeah.
no way, no way, no way.
Yeah.
I would do one hard 500 and go home.
I could see that. I definitely could see
I
that.
don't want to do no 500s, and I don't want to do not a one.
It's
See,
just
that's
one, just
that's
one time.
biased though because she's used to the 800. We don't
Yeah.
Right. I'm
have the
like,
800. She used to running past 400 meters.
right. I one year I was doing repeat eights, and I was tricked because the coach was like, "Oh, you only got to cover 800 in 3 minutes." I'm like, I can do that. It's like, but you got 3 minutes rest. I'm like, that ain't gonna be too bad.
It hurts, right?
After number two, I'm like, I went from like 805,
It's hard.
795, 695. I'm like, you know what? These 3 minutes is looking real long. He's like, just finish the run. I'm like, I am finished. I'm finished right here. This
Mhm.
I don't want to do no fives, no eight. I'm like Kyle. I would rather do or like Gould. I would rather do like I love 150s. I actually don't really like 200s like that, but I
Mhm.
like 250s. I like the 250, 150. I even like 300s. 350 always feel like 400 to me. Like
Yeah.
It's
I'm
hard.
like, should I just finish? I'm right here. But I
Mhm.
I do like, or if I could do like a one run time trial, like a one run 320 or
Yeah.
a one run like 280 or 250, I would love to do
One
that.
run.
So
One run, I would do it. One run.
Yeah.
As I said, I would do a one run 500. I would do a one run 400. I would do a one run 250 or one run. One run.
so we all skipping 300. Y'all skipping 300, man. Don't do
Let's just
300.
do
Like
the
if you
300.
do, y'all like the U or the C. We talk about this in training. If you run the 300, would you rather run the U, which is 300 hurdles to finish, or the C, which is 400 start? Well, yeah, 400 start to the 300 to
The
go.
I
U.
think that way is harder.
Which way is harder?
Starting at the 400. Because
Y'all think y'all would rather
because the
do the
curve,
U?
yeah, because the
No way.
curve slow you down.
No way.
No, the curve slow you down, and you basically
Y'all
have to
would
be
rather
like
do the U?
on the
Man,
curve,
that
like
straightaway seemed long. That first 100. I'm
no,
like,
the straightaway do
one
seems
here, I'm
for
still on
real.
that stretch. This is the first time I've ever heard this.
Yeah. I'll do the U any
I
day.
just feel like it's harder because guess what? In my head, I'm like, okay, I start right here, go that straight,
You think it's harder?
and then you reach that 200 mark at 20 something. You just gotta finish that 100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's like doing a 250 and only having 50 to go. You like, I'm almost off this bend and I'm be done. But y'all would rather be coming off the bend and have a whole 100 to go.
I don't like the straight either, but I just the 300. Maybe it's just a mind thing. I think. I
Yeah.
think it's just a
Yeah.
mind thing.
For me too. After I get done 200, it's like, okay, I got to run a whole 100 a curve. I'd
It's
rather come off that curve and just be like, all right, it's a
yeah,
straight shot for me.
yeah. I think it's just because I feel like we automatically slow down without realizing it on the curve.
Mhm.
So I'd be mad that my time I don't hit the time. You know.
Hmm.
That straightaway seemed long when I'm coming home. I'm like, wow, you still here. I'm
That's
still
why I don't like them track without thing. Hey, Kenzo.
Hey guys.
Here is one of the other person that love to do a lot of events.
Yeah, so
Oh,
tell us
you're
if you rather run the
crazy.
300 U or the C.
huh?
If you were running a 300, would you rather run the U or the C?
If I'm running a 300, I guess the U.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. I have 3 U's here. That's not.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
She
Okay.
said she liked the U. She said she had the C. The C?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm be
she liked
done
the
at
C.
300. I'm gonna be done. I'm like, wow. Once I hit 250, we just talked about all y'all talk about y'all love doing 250s, but when y'all get to the 250 mark, y'all got 150 to go. But I don't understand it, but I'm gonna let y'all have it.
Jess, I think because you run the 400 and
Running
because
a
whenever
300
you
on the straight
compete,
feels like a 400.
yeah, so I feel
Feel the
like that's why
same.
you feel this way, Jess.
Correct. No, the C feels the C feel. It's just something about being like I'm almost there when I hit the 250. Like you're almost there.
I think that's how I feel about doing 700. Like I just be like,
Feel what? No, I don't think you feel the same because I don't.
no, I'm not talking about. I'm just thinking that okay, I can say all right. I just have
Oh, you're
100
saying
left
I
to
thought you were
go.
talking about 700-meter runs. I'm like, I don't
No, I
think
do 700.
I know. Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about when you get to 700, you're like, oh,
Yeah, I'm like when I see the time what the 700 is, I'm like okay, so I only add like this or that to that, and then I'll get a good time in the 800. You know,
all y'all do too far. Too far for me. Too far. You gotta do the 800 in yours. You
I
do
would
the
love to
800.
see you do it.
You doing a 1500. That's all
I would
right. I'll
love
be
to
there to
see you do
cheer.
it, Jessica.
I'll be there to cheer. The 400's not that. The 400's not that bad. The
I,
400's not
I
bad.
would love to see you do at least one 800 before you retire.
Why?
Just for a track meet, not no like taking up
Which
on your hand.
one? All
Just
comers
for the
me.
friend, of
Girl, I hope
course.
if I'm out there with the 30 plus, because I'm in my 30s. So if I get to be the 30 to 39, well, it depend on who it is. Because if
I'm
I
31. Let's do it.
that's what I'm saying. You can't be at the meet. You can't be you not allowed. I said an all comers meet. It's
Jess,
not for you.
Jess,
All can come but you. You're not
Jess,
allowed.
Jess.
I
Can
was
I
trying
tell you
to
this? Can I tell you this? The
what?
older you get,
What? I'm
the better
listening.
you perform in the 800. You know that.
But guess what? The training. I don't want to have to train.
No, the
Let's
training now is good.
talk about training.
But
She
I'm not telling you to be.
7,
You,
she training
Jessica,
for 10,
Jessica,
then she got to train for the 8.
Jessica, listen to me carefully.
I'll
I'm
be
not
the
saying Jessica go and take up 800 as an event. I'm saying Jessica do
okay.
one for a practice for your 400. That's what I'm saying, Jessica.
I just told you I used to do them in the fall
Okay.
for fall training. I don't have
No,
no.
no, 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 no. At a track meet, Jessica, not no fall training, nothing.
Look, I watched Shamir do it and I lived through her. I lived through Shamir and I was like, hey, okay, Sham.
No,
And
please,
I just
Kendall and
got
Pat,
it.
please help me to convince her to one, just one.
Just one.
You see Kendall run the 800 in her after doing
Yeah,
an
but let me
event.
tell you, that was very impressive. You see how she gutted it out at the indoor world, so she get her brown. Let me tell you, I feel like she feel after that. You got to think that was after 5. That was the 5th event. I'm like that in the beginning. It's not nothing. It's and so I don't. And like I said, because Chanel and I are really close, I already know what type of training she has to do.
Yeah, it's
And it's
hard.
really good. Like you said, I can't just get out there, and I probably could off of talent and probably pride get out there and be like, okay. But guess what? I'm gonna die still if I don't got the training, and I'm not willing to put none of that in just for that. What I am willing to do, Gould, I'm willing to pace you. Let me tell you, I did pace you one. I was in that group the one time, and I felt like y'all was like, you in the way. And I was like, well, y'all told me to come through at this pace. I am willing to pace. I might even go to 500 for y'all, and I don't even like 500. And
They
that's
can do it for
all you
me.
get from me. But I liked it. That's all you get. You get to nothing else. Other than that, I will be cheering Kyle on. Cheer. Oh, look, K squared. We got K squared on here. Last time we had Q squared because we had Quinera and
And who?
Quenisha.
Konisha. I was
Okay.
gonna say that because I'm like, that's the only two Q's I
We
know.
got Q squared, we
Yeah.
got K squared.
Yeah.
You know, we
Bunch
know,
of K's.
Yeah.
Hey,
oh look, or G
Georgia
squared.
is known for
Hey,
K's.
I
You
got
know
something
that.
going on here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Georgia is known for K's.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes, Kyle, Kendall, all
Kendall.
Okay. 3.
probably more. I don't know.
They're probably, yeah. I don't know.
Probably more.
Like I'm like Kendall man, Kendall woman. Like
Very, very important. So what's your favorite event? If you could do, I remember I asked this the last because we're about to, if you could do any other event and you know that you would be competitive at it in the sense of, say you're a finalist, semi-finalist at a major championship, what event would you do? If you could do any other event, you know, like I'm good at this, what event would you choose?
400 hurdles.
Oh wow, why the hurdles?
Yeah.
I feel like I have the strength and the speed for
Mm,
it. I just need to know to get over them hurdles.
okay,
Because I don't think you really need any technique. Because I've seen a bunch of them running and they cannot hurdle.
okay, come on, Coach Goule.
Like
Yeah, I
my,
got
my, my former teammate,
leg. Okay,
yeah, my former teammate literally started running 400 hurdles in March, end of March. She won 58 already.
Mm,
You know, almost 57, and she never ever hurdled before. But she was an 800 runner, and she
mm,
has speed like me, so she's similar to me.
mm,
And you know, my PR is faster than hers. She
yeah.
went, I think, 203. I'm 156.
So then that's the deal I make with you. You do the 400 hurdles at the race. I do the 800. It got
Trust
to be
me,
before I
I
retire.
will
Once
do it.
I'm gone, I'm gone. When I come
Tell
back.
Mark Elliott, I just wanted to do it.
Okay, Kendall, if you could do any other event.
Okay, let's see. 400 hurdles is a good one. I ran the 300 hurdles in high school and I was not bad at it. So I always kind of wonder what it would have turned into if I actually stuck with it. And I actually thought the 300 hurdles were fun. And then
Yeah.
there were 400 hurdles for AAU track.
Mhm.
So I guess that would be mine too. I would agree. The 400 probably. Yeah.
Wow, I would love to see you do it.
So already for the all comers meet, we have 2 people in the 400 hurdles.
In the 400.
Hey, yes. Okay. Because I won't be joining y'all there. Kyle.
I'd probably have to say the 110 hurdles. I love the 110 hurdles. Like that's just a fun event for me. Super aggressive, but I also would probably try 400 hurdles. I used to run them in AAU. I ran like 54 high when I was 16. So, I think I could, if I trained a little bit, I think I could dip under 50 point, maybe get into an NCAA final or get into a world championship semifinal or something if I trained. So,
Oh my gosh, y'all did AAU. Good. You did youth.
Huh?
Did you do youth? Like,
You know Jamaica.
yeah. You did like Carissa and stuff.
You know it. World Juniors, all of it.
Were any of y'all ever like on a team around the same time? Like, or
I'm older than them.
not? Well, no, of course not, Kyle. Well,
I'm
Kelly,
older when I finished. Well, yeah, I'm older than them. How old are you, Kendall? Sorry to call out
26.
the age. 26. Yeah, I'm older than them by far. So by the time
Here you
she
go, talking about by far. Here you go, girl.
by the
Just
time she reach
stop.
World Junior age, I'm done gone.
Oh, done. And what made you choose Kendall? College, well, UGA. I asked them like what made them choose LSU. It made Kyle choose UGA. What made you choose UGA? What made you?
My situation was really interesting because my older brother is only a year and a half older than I am, and so he went to Georgia and he does the decathlon, and I was able to see how our coach progressed him in just 1 year.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, we're coming from being trained by our dad.
Yeah.
And if
oh my gosh, another dad athlete. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask you about that. Yeah.
But if he can improve my brother, then surely he could probably, improve me as well. And then I remember on my recruiting visit, he just had a plan for, how I was going to improve each and every year, what we were going to work on, and he wasn't wrong. Like, he would tell me year after year, like, what it was going to take to win NCAAs or what it was going to take to make a world team, and he was spot on every time. So I think for me, it was just like, he had a plan. I was able to see kind of the plan in action when he was coaching my brother the year before I got into college. And I could just tell he was really passionate about the multi. So, and I was only an hour and 30 minutes from home, which is always a plus because I'm a homebody. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm like obsessed with my parents. So they got to sit and watch everything with us.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to ask y'all some random questions. I'm going to ask y'all, it's going to be this or that. Okay?
This or that.
This or that. So I'm going to name like one thing, and then I'm going to name another, and you're going to choose which one that you would.
No hard questions, please.
It's not going to be hard.
Better not, because I don't like using my brain too much right now.
Okay. Oatmeal or grits?
Grits.
Oatmeal.
None of the above.
You eating porridge?
I need porridge.
You say porridge?
Porridge.
I'm saying that. Would you have that or no?
Yeah, porridge. Call me porridge.
So you having grits? Okay. Y'all put sugar in y'all grits?
No.
No.
What y'all put in y'all grits? I'm just, I did a thing the other day. I said good morning to everybody except for people who don't put sugar in their grits. What y'all put in y'all grits?
I keep grits like more savory if I eat them.
Yeah.
Butter.
Maybe cheese.
Yeah.
That makes it savory to y'all?
Mm-hmm.
What's savory about butter?
It's more of a.
I'm listening.
I don't see grits as sweet. I just don't.
I don't. That's weird.
Oh wow. Wow. Bacon or sausage or ham, and the sausage could be turkey, the bacon can be turkey. I'm just not saying that, but if you
turkey bacon,
okay.
Turkey sausage.
I'm bacon any kind.
You see this chick stand up and be like, I'll bake it anytime.
Yep.
What's yours?
I'm eating all of those. Right now I'm eating turkey sausage, but I love bacon. Like, you can't really outdo bacon. Like, the crisp, they try to do the turkey bacon, make it crispy. It don't always be crispy unless you gotta basically burn it to death, and you might get a lot, but definitely a lot.
This girl love food. You can tell.
I do. I love it.
You love food. I can tell that.
If you can have any, okay, so this is when I ask, you can only have Thanksgiving. Okay, are you having turkey or ham?
Turkey.
Ham.
Turkey.
If you can only have two sides with that, what's the two sides you would have? You can only have two for Thanksgiving with your turkey.
Mac and cheese and stuffing. I don't even have to think about it.
Mac and cheese and sweet potato.
Cornbread.
Uh-huh.
I like sweet potato too.
Yeah.
That one, the nice one that what y'all call it, yams?
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Ooh. Best thing America can ever make.
Thank goodness. I made some sweet potato souffle, and I was real nervous. Not my recipe. Phyllis' grandma is Jamaican, and so I was like, Grandma, that souffle you made us that we froze and then put it back in the oven for 2 weeks later for Thanksgiving, we ate it,
Oh
was heaven sent. So we need your help. And I did right by Grandma. And so I
yeah, if
actually
you
like
right by a Jamaican,
souffle. I don't like
then you're right.
I don't like candied yams though. I don't really like it. I'm having none of y'all eating collard greens. I'm having collard greens. I'm having macaroni and cheese. But that's very. I always want to know if it's like the mac and cheese and yams because some people's like I like the sweet, and then other people's like I gotta have.
Yeah, it's the
But they're
sweet.
all
It's the
the
sweet that got
macaroni and
me.
cheese. Okay, on a more serious note, y'all are all great athletes. Y'all do great things. Kendall, I just want to say I was talking about you maybe the last time I was on here, and I was telling we were talking about the barman. I said that year you should have that was your freshman, you should have been a finalist. And I said that was the first time I feel like we want a freshman to win because you did what you did. I was like, ain't nobody doing it. And I just knew that you was gonna be one of the 3 finalists, and you wasn't. And I felt the way about it, but I ain't had no vote in that. But I was like, you know what?
I feel like 2 persons got robbed out of when they're freshmen. Keturah got robbed out too.
But she won. She
No, she
she
won
won.
afterwards.
I feel like her
Way after.
I mean, look at Chesrick. That's we going that don't get me started. I just wanted to say that though. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah,
But
she is
I want to
amazing.
ask y'all what it takes to be the greatest, especially y'all do the heptathlon, y'all do the decathlon, you do the 800. A lot of those records, man. I knew JJK, she been a bad woman. But when I was looking, I'm like, girl, you know that video be like, look. I'm like, them numbers is out there. JJK, I said, so this what you gonna do? I'm like, dang, this wasn't even your best series. You could have did a little better in some of these other things. What does it take to be the greatest as in your particular event or just you feel like in the sport? What does it take to be the greatest?
Go on.
Who wants to go? Kyle?
All right, I'll start. I guess for a decathlete, I would say discipline. I mean, there's going to be, majority of the time, and I think Kendall can also like attest to it. It's like there's going to be most of the time your body's not feeling 100%. You're not going to feel like training. You're not going to be up to it. Your body's going to be sore or whatever it is, but it's just that discipline to know that you still have work to do. You know, it's like there's always a little bit better you can get just because like of the point system. It's like you could be a world record holder, but you could still get better, you know? Like there's still you could tune up something here or there and still add a couple more points on, I think. So I think just that aspect of discipline is the biggest thing I would think to be the best.
Kendall?
Yeah, I would add resilience also because with like our event, there are so many things that you can go like this. Like you might have a good hurdles, but then your long jump might not go well, or like you might have a good first day and then the second day not go. So it's really about how you recover after having a performance that you wish would have gone differently. Because if you dwell on that bad performance, and that affects everything else that's coming afterward. So you can come back from like one bad performance and still turn around and have an overall personal best score or something. But it takes just being resilient and just being focused to pull everything back on track.
That's true. That's true. With the 800, you have to ensure that you have patience when racing, because if you're not patient, then can mess you up, and that messed me up a lot, you know. And discipline is very important, especially when you're training, because sometimes, especially now, it's hot. You know, it's super hot right now, and we have long runs to do. And when you go there, if you're ooh, yesterday was so hot, Jessica.
Did you have a frozen water bottle? Did you freeze water the day before?
Can't run with no frozen bottle, Jessica.
You should have ran with the frozen bottle.
I can't run for how much miles with frozen bottle.
That's how you keep the heat.
I can't.
You gotta get
I
the
don't know
little
why.
backpacks in and put the little bottle in there.
I stop at a pipe. And like today was one of those days, 95 degrees. In practice, every run, I'm taking a shower, and I literally can ask everybody because it's hot. And also, like, we have to take care of ourselves as well. Because not just the what you do on the track, what you do off the track is very important as well. And a lot of persons tend to forget about that.
Mm.
The type of recovery that we need, stretching, getting worked on, what you put in your body, the way you eat. Those things are very important. And I often tell persons, not because I am so slim, that means I can eat anything.
Mm.
Because if I go there at a certain weight, and they be laughing at me because I tell them how much I weigh, they laugh at my weight. But they don't understand that if I weigh a certain weight, I'm going to look like a slug going around the track because everybody's weight is different when you perform.
Right.
And like you will see some girls that are tall and thicker than I am, and I am like slim and short, but I can't be their weight. They probably like 120. I can, if I be 120, I'm pregnant. You
Okay.
know? Yeah.
Make sure you step on the scale when that time comes so we could just verify that.
Yes, I really
Yeah.
think so because I have a friend that have three kids, and she's 120 right now,
Okay.
and she does not look like me,
Mhm.
and she doesn't look big either.
Mhm.
So all of those things are very important. Hydrating, all those things. Not drinking juice, that's very important. Sweets, not eating too much sweet stuff. It's very important for us. So all those things they can take out. I could go on and on and on, but we don't have all night.
This is true. I've answered this question so many times and I'm not answering it again tonight because y'all gave great answers. Discipline, resilience, patience. I think those are things that a lot of athletes who are going to see this, who are watching, need to hear. They need to know that it takes all those things. I think a lot of the things that you all said about letting go of, things that don't go as well, making sure that you're getting the proper nutrients, you're getting the proper rest, and just taking care of yourself as an athlete. Um, I think
Yeah,
that's
our mindset is very important.
I think that's really important. So tell people where they can find y'all on social media before we go so they can be like we used to have way before all your time we used to have MySpace. We used to have people so people can be in y'all they might not be in y'all close friends, but MySpace used to have close friends. People like, why ain't in your top close friends? And then you only used to have time in your close friends, so you wouldn't have to have no problems. Anyway, tell us where we can find y'all. We can follow y'all, where y'all are most active at as far as social media.
Well, I'm mostly active on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram is KGARL_18. And my Twitter is at the dude0018.
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to ask you about that one day.
The
Come on, the
dude,
dude.
Okay.
Remember that?
what?
I'm the dude.
The dude.
Yeah, it's a long story
Hey.
behind that, but
Okay.
yeah.
Then we'll just have to bring you. Just make sure you come back.
Come back on again and we can talk about that.
Cool.
You can find Natoya Goule Oli, as in Olympian OLY,
Mm.
on I think all platforms.
Okay, come on, platform.
Instagram, Twitter. I'm on TikTok too, but I don't be TikToking.
Yeah, it's a
I
little
gotta
bit
eat.
more difficult than people made it seem like. They was like, "Oh, it's real easy." I'm like, "This is not like making a
No,
reel."
it's
Don't lie
not.
to me, but I'm
I
gonna
ain't
get
got time to get them song and be like, oh, no, girl. I'm getting old.
okay. Okay.
And I have a YouTube channel as well. I haven't
Ooh.
posted in a while, but there's a lot of content on there. It's Natoya Goule's World. You can go and check out. If you can see the behind the scenes at Olympics. That was like the most viewed stuff. People
Okay.
are.
So get your views more up. That's what you're telling the people. Go watch her
Yeah,
YouTube channel. Period. Okay. It is
yeah.
what
But
it is.
I'm mostly on Instagram. Natoya Goule, the only Natoya Goule ever. So
Okay. So it's gonna be you,
don't be
unless
easy.
somebody is like a stalker and crazy and they like take all your pictures and then make a fake page. But you got a blue check. So find a blue check and
Yeah, you gonna see
you're
that
gonna
blue
get
check.
okay. Cool. Oh no.
Where can they find you, Jessica?
Well, it's Kendall turn. I'm gonna go
Oh
last.
shoot, I didn't. I forget.
That's all
I'm
right.
sorry.
It's the best place. K Dub, so KDVP _100.
used to try to tell people that a dub was a win. You know, we went through this little phase where like dub meant
You all better follow me back, you know.
really strange. Who?
I say y'all better follow me back.
I already follow you, and you follow.
I know you follow me. Just
okay.
I hope they did. They scammed my page the other day. They took over my page. I hope they did not unfollow you because I just realized
Change
a lot of
your
people.
password to something stronger and don't save it.
Let me see, because they unfollow a lot of people. Let me see.
Y'all can find me at Ray.
I got Jessica. Jessica ain't going nowhere. I forgot I like her picture the other day. Anyway.
Find me at Rain2 on Instagram, REIGN, the number 2. Run to Rain on Twitter. I got a Facebook, but it's all the stuff going to.
Yeah, y'all better follow me unless I'm unfollow y'all.
Oh my gosh.
So aggressive, right?
I'm very aggressive in I call it assertive.
This
I
is
don't
you, Kyle.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Okay, you better follow me. Shoot.
Okay, let it be known. If not, you can come back on here too, Goule, and you can tell your side of the story if you didn't follow me back about what happened. Okay, cool.
I just follow you, okay? And you to Kendall. I can't believe we didn't follow each other, Kendall. What's up with that? Every time we see each other, we say hello. So what's up?
I know.
What's up? You know, well, I'm glad we were able to resolve that. Now is I mean, if you're not social media friends, are you really friends? We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't consider me a friend then?
Thank everybody for joining. You can also find us World Greatest. It's World Greatest without all the vowels on Twitter because somebody who only has 2 followers has World Greatest with the vowels and we can't get your domain. You can find us on YouTube, World's Greatest Team. You can find us on, or is that on
Instagram? Is World Greatest Team.
You can find us on Instagram, World's Greatest Team. On YouTube, World's Greatest.
Yes.
You know, sometimes
I'm
okay. I'm trying to tell you, I actually slipped up a little bit, but guess what? Nobody's perfect, and I'm gonna embrace that tonight. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all for joining. This has been another great show of What Were You Thinking? I didn't even get to ask y'all what were you thinking, so I'm thinking y'all gonna have to come back another time, and I'm gonna have to ask all that after something super phenomenal is gonna happen. Okay, super phenomenal.
I'm gonna be back. I'm always co-hosting. So
I never knew because I ain't seen you a few times, but I'm not gonna start now. Thank everybody for joining. We're gonna leave this on a positive note. Okay.
It's because I've been running, Jessica. You know that.
What you think we all been doing? It's they've been she gonna leave.
And then she leaves.
Yeah, good. I got something for good. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna keep it cute. All right. Thank y'all. See y'all at USA.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.